Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Brandon, and welcome to another unit building and showcase video. Last time, we went and build lovely fluffy boy Corrin, and you guys seemed to like that, so I thought I'd do it again, and this time, we're also building Corrin, but it's his New Year's variant, who I am very excited to build. I finally got the grails for him to buy all the copies. Look at all those Corrins. I'll go ahead and show me buying them, but it wasn't very interesting. Look at this boy, I love him. Just imagine that I showed all 10 copies being bought, but I finally have enough to build him, and so yeah, we're going to do that. In fact, it would be fastest to just turn them all into manuals and then mass promote them all at once. 10 Corrin manuals. Bam. And now, go ahead and unlock their potential. Should be right around here. There we go. 10 Corrins. And now we can merge. So yes, I'm very excited. I've been saving for about half a year, I think. From whenever I finished my Xander to now. Just saving grails to buy this Corrins and merge him up, make him plus 10, make him good. I actually thought about saving this video for New Year's, but I don't want to wait that long, so I've waited long enough. We are getting Corrin, and this time around, well, last time we had 3 builds for Corrin, more like 2.5 because 2 of the support sets were pretty similar. But this time for New Year's Corrin, we are going to have 4 builds total, because I like spoiling my units and give them too many skills. And I want to use all those skills that I give them. So 4 builds we will be showing off today after we finish up this merging. +40 +7 and +8 +9, and finally, at long last, +10 cutie boy Corrin. That is 2 +10 Corrins that I have now. And that is really cool. So now, before we get into actually building him, let's go ahead and take care of some miscellaneous stuff. Gotta give him some dragon flowers. Just all the dragon flowers, 10 of them. Actually 860 of them, which equates to +10 on dragon flowers. Bam! Look at that, +2 to everything. Look at that def, it's actually pretty solid. Considering he's not an armored unit. And Confer Blessing. I changed regular Corrin a while back so I could use him in Aether raids, and he's very helpful there. It's still very weird to not have him be water blessed because water is kind of Corrin's thing. But likewise, this Corrin is changing from water blessing from when I just kind of used him to just snipe flyers and arena assault, to a light blessing so that he can help out in Aether raids. There he goes. Give him a nice accessory too, because he's worth it. Where are you? There you go. Summer Festival Mask. Isn't that lovely? And now we have to inherit all the skills to him, just all the skills. I actually had to write down a list of all the skills that I needed to get from which units, because there's a lot. And full disclosure, I actually inherited more skills before in preparation of this. A lot of like, I'll show you like Vantage 1 and Vantage 2, Desperation 1, QR 1, 2, just to help us get more skills from these units. Just went ahead and did that in advance. So first things first, gonna use up our level 1 Takumi that I pulled for on the revival banner. Get the wonderful close counter. I guess we could get him some other skills while we're at it. I'll just grab Threaten Speed 1 through 3, I guess. Maybe Threaten 4 will come out and be good, but probably not. So he's got the close counter. Next up is the Erica from the Heroes Paths rewards. I have the one I pulled from the gacha here, but the other one we're going to use to grab Rally Attack Speed and Swift Sparrow. And I can't get Desperation, but that's okay. Get those. Swift Sparrow is more an add-on, but we needed the Rally Attack Speed so that we can grab Summer Ursula. And we're going to grab her Rally Attack Speed Plus and Def Res Ruse. The wave skill is not interesting to me in the slightest. I'm gonna grab Night Sky, Glimmer, and Vantage 3. Crom. Give us Aether. And Spur Def 2, I guess. From Leon, we'll take Slaying Bow and Guard 2, 3, and I guess we'll grab Speed plus 3 at the same time. Just because it's there. Klein will give us Brave Bow, Death Blow 3, QR 3, and Glacies. Just again because it's there. Grab the Fiddlestick Bow, and I guess Speed Tactic 1 and 2 if we ever get Speed Tactic 3 on a free unit. I guess I could grab that, but for now I guess it'll just sit there. Rolf will give us the Candle Wax Bow, Desperation 2, and Desperation 3. Close guard from the Death Knight, and I guess Escape Route 1. Kaze, you must do your retainer's duty and give us Attack Smoke and Iceberg. And, I like to imagine Kaze's Attack Smoke is like an ancient Hoshiden ninja technique, and Pan has Death Smoke. So the only logical conclusion I can come up with is that Pan is also secretly a Hoshiden ninja, because the smoke skills make sense as ninja techniques, and she's got that, so she was a ninja, and now Corrin's a ninja too, because he's got it. Alright, now we have to start learning these skills, and there are a lot of them. So I'm just going to take care of that. I'll probably have to grind more SP, so be right back. Oh boy. Where is my girl Nina? There she is. Come on, we need your bow valor. Go, Corrin, go. Give SP. So much SP. So much more needed. Ugh. Now we just need to get some refines on these bows. Real quick, we're going to get a def refine on the Fiddlestick. Get some dew, and we're going to take res, and speed refine on the candle wax. And I might eventually pick up more refines for other weapons, but those are the ones that we need right now. So that takes care of that. Alright, I have finished grinding his SP, and I've grinded it back to 9,999. Purely because I don't like showcasing my units without like maxed out stuff. It really doesn't change anything, but I don't like it. So he's grinded back up, and we're ready to actually build him now. So that's exciting and fun. Also, I need to give him I should probably give him a support partner. I'm thinking Byleth, just because I like both of them, and I figured I'd support them together, because neither of them really has a support partner that I use frequently. Byleth has Sothis right now, but I don't use her because for some reason they made her a dark mythic, and it makes me mad. But anyway, on to Corrin. Like I said, we have 4 skill sets to build today. So the first one is the one that came to mind right away when I was building my other Corrin was Cheerleader Corrin, because I think it would be really cool to eventually have a full team of lovely cheerleading Corrins. It probably won't happen because we probably won't get another readily available Corrin. But maybe if we get legendary Corrin and I really like him, I'll try and like max merge him. Or I might try and go for max merges on a drift Corrin eventually after I get like Byleth maxed out. But I don't know, that's long in the future. But for now, we're going to build a cheerleading Corrin. The original set was going to use Hamaya for the +2 def res to allies in 2 spaces, which is pretty nifty. But then they released Fiddlestick Bow, which is +4 def and res to allies within 2 spaces, but only for melee attacks. But in Arena, most attacks are melee, so I figure Fiddlestick is just better when you know that the majority of the enemies you fight are going to be melee. But if I wanted to use him for support generally, I'd probably go with Hamaya over Fiddlestick, but they're pretty interchangeable. This is just premium. So that's what we needed Nephany for. Next, we need to give him a rally, a dual rally for Arena, because those are important for points. Rally attack speed complements my regular Corrin's rally def res, fills out those stats, and I originally took rallies just for the points, but using them more recently, I actually really like them. I like them and link skills a lot more. I used to be all about tactic skills. Now I find them a little less reliable. Panic is everywhere, so having a buff that you can just choose when you want to trigger it is really useful. So rallies are alright in my book now. And then, of course, like I said, we have to run Aether for those Arena points. Also, it's not a bad skill to have on him in general, just because he's rather tanky, so for longer fights it could keep his HP charged up. But it's mostly here for Arena points. And I don't have colorless dual infantry. I do need to get that next time Loki comes around. But HP +5 shows us what his HP would look like if I had C dual infantry. But for now, we'll just go ahead and give him close counter for those extra Arena points. In his B slot is Def Res Ruse. I really love my attack feint on male Corrin. Like, I ended up liking that a lot more than I originally thought I would, and I already kind of knew, or I kind of figured that I'd like it a lot. But Def Res Ruse is just a better, the ruse skills are better feints, honestly. You do lose a little bit of the debuff, dropping from 7 to 5, but it affects 2 stats at once, which is really helpful. And more importantly, it provides guard, which just helps prevent enemies charging their specials. Makes me less reliant on hitting them with Sakura to turn off specials. So they're just better feint skills. I still don't think feint skills are as bad as a lot of people think. Niche, if anything, but these are definitely, ruses are just better. Even if you do lose that extra 2 points of stats, you get 5 more in another stat and get the guard effect. And it also affects from the target and the user of the rally instead of just the unit that you're rallying, or from just the unit using the rally. So it has a slightly wider area of effect, which is really helpful. So Def Res Ruse to help soften up enemies that we're trying to take out in arena. And then we could run Spur Def Res, but since he's not going to be always glued to the ally in arena, I figured we'd go with a drive would be helpful. But then we got Close Guard for free, and that's just even better, and it stacks with his bow. So he gives +8 Def Res against melee foes, as well as debuffing them for 5 Def Res, giving them guard, and giving our ally +6 attack speed. Very helpful all around. And for his Sacred Seal, we're just going to go ahead and continue our stacking of stats and give him a Sacred Seal that will help with that. We're going to give him Drive Def. He could run any of the drive skills, but Def just fits in with his whole more Def focus. Most of the melee armors that we fight are going to be physical damage dealers, so I figured we'd just lean into that a little more with Drive Def. If we ever get a Close Guard Sacred Seal, then I'd probably swap him to that. Also, Fiddlestick Bow. Any Refine would have worked, but I went with Def Refine just because it improves his Def a little more, and if an armor hits him, he's less likely to die. Really the only reasoning behind it. So that's his Arena Cheerleading set. We're not going to equip that right now, though. Second set is, and the rest of these are actually offensive sets, whereas my original Corrin has 2 support sets and 1 offensive set. This boy here has just 1 support set and 3 actual combat-oriented sets. So this is the second set that I originally came up with when I decided I was going to build him. And it's a pretty standard mixed tank setup. So we got Guard Bow to give +6 Def Res against ranged units. I do wish that we had a bow that was just like a Barrier Lance, where it just gave like +7 res flat out. I would probably prefer that to the Def Res combo. But for now, Guard Bow is the closest thing we've got to that. Helps him tank mages a little. Bear in mind that with maxed out merges and max Dragonflowers, his res isn't actually that terrible considering where it started. He hits 27 res, and then slap on an additional 6 from the Guard Bow when attacked by a mage, and he shoots up to 33 res, which is pretty respectable. Also, of course, you got to factor in the res refine. I forgot to mention that. But so that's a decent start. Next, since this is a mixed tank, we're going to give him Reposition because he can take some melee hits. And we're going to give him Bonfire because he does still have a very nice 40 base def, and Bonfire takes 50 of that. So he does 20 extra damage when his special procs, which is pretty nice. And then we can give him Close Counter so that he's not a sitting duck when he's taking melee hits. If we wanted to make him a full tank, we could give him like Distant Defense 4, Warding Stance 4, or even like Fortress Def Res would all be pretty cool options. But I just like knowing that he can actually do something when enemies attack him. So we'll give him Close Counter. Next up, we could give him any of these B slots. We've got a lot of options. We've got Quick Riposte, which would let him guarantee doubles. We've got Cancel Affinity, which means that Raven Tomes wouldn't be able to do anything to him. But I really like Guard on him. He's supposed to be tanky first and foremost, so just disabling enemy specials is just really helpful. And then, as always, the C slot is flexible. He has so many options here, but we're going to go with Attack Smoke just to soften up incoming attacks. If someone else is running an attack debuff, he could just easily take something like Close Guard and provide more team support, but I like Attack Smoke on him for this set. And for his seal is a bit of an interesting choice. I was originally going to go with Warding Stance, which would give him, when attacked by mage, he'd get 33 off of the Guard Bow, and then an additional 6 off of Warding Stance, putting him at 39 res, which is actually pretty good. However, I saw someone on Reddit, I think it was the Pink Reaper, who was running Swift Stance 2 on their New Year's Corrin, and they were going for like a similar kind of mixed phase set, but they weren't running close counter. But I thought that was a really cool idea because it boosts his speed up to 41, which is in a good range to prevent a lot of doubles, and that just kind of adds further to his bulk when he's not getting doubled. So I'm going to try it with that, but if I don't like that, we'll go to Warding Stance 3. But I think having a slightly less res heavy, but getting that extra speed is very valuable. That puts his stats when attacked at range to 41, 46, and I think 37, which is still really solid. So that's his mixed tank setup. Going to just save that, take a real quick look. Looks nice. His next build is like an offshoot of that previous one. It kind of came to me when I got close counter for him. I was like, well, I have problems with AR flyer balls. They were pretty much an auto lose for me when I saw them. I just didn't have a good way to dismantle those. And when I realized I've got Corrin and I'm planning to give him close counter, I'd heard of other people using CC+Vantage archers in AR to dismantle flyer balls, and I thought he would be a good fit for that. And that's also the reason why he is light blessed, is so that I can use him in AR with this set. So you can already kind of figure where this is going. Also, I have been using my really old +1 Takumi that I like too much to fodder for close counter. I gave him an Astra Blessing, and I was testing him against other flyerball teams, and he worked really well, actually. So I have high hopes for this set, considering Corrin actually has merges that makes him slightly better than Takumi. For this one, I was originally planning to give him the bow from Niles, the Devilish Bow. From Halloween Niles, just because like the guard effect might have been nice, and it would have looked kind of funny with him. He could be your angel or your devil with the Devilish Bow. But then we got Halloween Rolf. Apparently Halloween weapons are all just really good because Candle Wax Bow is incredible. It's basically just Fury 3 built into a bow. Which is really great, improves his stats across the board, and gives him some nice attack, which is always helpful for Vantage sets. But also, because it is Fury, that means that he'll be taking chip damage, which helps him get into Vantage range, which is very helpful. You can't always position yourself onto a lightning trap to get into Vantage range. So this is just really helpful. And of course, being a ranged unit, he'll be helpful in AR because he can snipe Aether Pots. The one weakness on CC+Vantage is that he does have to watch out for like dazzling effects, or fire sweep and dazzling staff effects, because they'll just hit him while he can't counterattack. And with Candle Wax, he'll be chipping himself down to make him easier to take out. But I figure he'll be able to snipe them, just prioritize taking them out when he's fighting flyer balls. For assist, we'll take reposition, just to be able to put himself into range of the enemies, or pull allies closer to Aether Pots. For his special, it's really flexible here. He could take just anything, really. Well, not a healing special, because he doesn't want to heal himself up. He wants to be in Vantage range. But I think that I want to take Glimmer just to do extra damage with being a bow unit, to maybe take down a tankier flyer with effective damage. Of course, for a CC build, we do need close counter and Vantage, just to let him take out those flyers first. Let him just run into him. His C slot is pretty flexible, but I figure Death Smoke would be best, just to further soften up enemies, make sure he gets those kills. And for his Sacred Seal, I wanted to give him a Brazen. Since he's going to be low on HP, he's going to be in Vantage range. Brazen just makes sense, and he appreciates the extra attack, again, just to ensure those kills. We're going to give him Brazen Attack Res, because it just helps him take a hit from mages in a pinch, but also with air buffs, because he is Light Blessed and I run 2 airs, he will have 40 base res, and with 7 more res from the Brazen, if he ran Iceberg, it would actually do more damage than Bonfire, which is kind of funny to me. Brazen Attack Res will also be helpful if in the future I end up taking the second air off my team for a different mythic hero. Just nice to have that, but Brazen Attack Def would work just as well, or even Brazen Attack Speed, but I think Brazen Attack Res is fine just to help further round out his defenses. So there's that setup. And finally, the 4th set is a offense set that's mostly, I wasn't planning to do this one because I have Klein as a offensive archer with a Pref Brave Bow, but I was already getting a lot of things like Swift Sparrow as leftovers from other units, so I figured I'd just kind of cobble this set together just to take advantage of some of those leftover skills. He could run a Brave Bow, though the low attack does make that slightly less appealing. Also lowers his speed to a very mediocre 32. But with the Candle Wax Bow, giving +3 to everything, he can actually hit a very nice base 42 speed with a Speed Refine, and a nice 54 attack, and also put himself into Desperation range to run a Fury Desperation setup, which is a little more interesting to me than a Brave Bow setup since Klein is already pretty much running that. So we're going to differentiate them a little bit with Candle Wax Bow, though he does have the Brave Bow as an option if he so desires it for certain maps. And to go with that, he also has Death Blow as an option, but we're not going to use that. We're going to give him drawback on this set actually because he is going to be chipping his HP down, leaving him a little squishier and more vulnerable to getting taken out by like mages and stuff. So just being able to draw back without putting himself in harm's way is nice. And for this setup, again, his special is pretty flexible. He could run all kinds of stuff here, but we'll just go with the nice Bonfire because it's consistent. Next, for his A slot, like I said, he has Death Blow, which would work really well with Brave Bow. But I figured this whole set came about because I had Swift Sparrow on him. And it has, like I said, his speed is actually pretty good. That puts him at 46 speed on initiation and 58 attack, which is pretty nice, all things considered. Of course, we're going to take Desperation 3 to just keep him healthy after he chips himself down with the Candle Wax Bow, which a candle is a really good weapon to represent Fury, like a themed weapon, just because it's like Fury is like a candle burning yourself down to get those extra stats. A candle burns itself down to provide light. I don't know, I just think that's a really cool choice to represent Fury on a weapon. I don't know what's going on with the rest of the Halloween weapons, how those provide Fury, but it makes sense for the bow at least. As always, C slot is pretty flexible. If I were going to run him with like dancers or something, I definitely want Death Smoke, but I figure for this we'll just go with like Attack Smoke. He can poke in, hit enemies, and then get repositioned back by an ally, and then they can tank for him. Also, because his defense is pretty decent, he might be able to tank a hit even with lowered HP with Attack Smoke, so Just a nice thing. I just love attack smoke way more than I should. And then for this set, we're going to give him brazen attack speed to just give more attack and speed. So that 46 with Swift Sparrow jumps up to 53 speed, which is insane considering New Year's Corrin is generally considered a pretty slow unit. That's just really funny to me. Also, he goes up to 58 attack with Swift Sparrow, and then an additional 7 is what, 65 attack and 53 speed. Just disgusting. I love it. So yeah, those are the builds, and now we just have to test them out. So we're going to test this support set in Arena by cheerleading. I think it's Sharena week, so we'll let Sharena get some bonus kills. I think it was Sharena week on my first Corrin showcase too, which is just kind of funny. And then these other sets will showcase the mixed tank set just in like a regular battle. Same for the offense set, but then the AR set, the AR flyer ball set, we will actually go into AR and showcase it. So hooray. Before we take him for a test run though, I wanted to go ahead and just toss on that ally support. One thing I really like about New Year's Corrin being colorless and is that since his base form is red, it's kind of hard to use him alongside a lot of my other favorites who are also red. So being colorless gives more options, which is really nice for my team comps. And we're just going to support you with Bezboy Byleth here. Sorry, Sothis. But these boys, they gotta be supported. How adorable. Here we go. And since I identify as both Byleth and Corrin, I think this is narcissism would be the definition of this picture right here. Alright, first up, we are going to showcase the arena support setup. Probably the least exciting of these builds because I've shown my arena core before. You guys know how it works. You just surround the bonus unit with as many buffs as possible and watch them sit there and tank things. Not very exciting, but it works. So we'll just go in and fight someone and then get this one out of the way, and then we'll show the more interesting builds. Alright, so we got a 744 match, which I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think I'd hit 744 without C-Dual Infantry. I was setting myself up for a slightly lower score with his terrible ranged Gen 1 BS, or I guess he's Gen 2 technically. Terrible ranged BST either way, but yeah, so we're just gonna, this looks doable to beat. We're just gonna bring everyone up. I probably won't use Corrin on my arena core until I can get him C-Dual Infantry. I'll just run Sakura instead, but after that I'll probably retire Sakura. Though the healing is nice, I finally got Wrath off of Astrum over here for Sharena and Anna, so they don't need to be they don't need their HP full all the time as much, and Alphonse never needed that because he runs Brazens, so Sakura will just transition to just being a support unit. It doesn't have to be arena support though. I still love her, it's just we gotta get the full Corrin core going on here. One day Morgan will transition off this team, hopefully. But we're going to just drop some rallies on Sharena and watch Astrum run into her. Oh, first Azura is going to come, which is nice. We'll be able to take her out next. Astrum attacks. Hits for 0 and bam! Speared right in the chest. Goodbye. You repositioned her out of the way. That's okay. We can just... no, because I don't want her attacking Corrin on accident. We'll play it safe. We'll just stay here. I wanted to move up and hit them with the ruse, but it's not necessary, but it is a good skill and it is funny. So Fjorm comes down, eats the Aether. Goodbye, Fjorm. This is what really happens after book 2. Sharena just snaps and kills Fjorm. But so we're going to, yeah, here we go. Line up our ruse, hit them both. We can move Sharena up. I guess I should have moved up one more so that she would, so that Effie would actually be able to hit her. But now she'll probably just stand there and rally Azura, and Azura will attack Corrin, but that's okay. Yep. Although, now she is next to Sharena, so Sharena can take her out. Drop the ruse, and goodbye. Hit her for exactly 43, but we had a double waiting just in case. Now, Effie's gonna march her way up. Well, nah. We'll just play it safe. Effie attacks. And we can't really safely... I don't want to leave Corrin here and have her attack Corrin and then get hit back with close counter or anything. So we'll have Corrin move back and rally other Corrin, make a rally train. Yummy. And that also applies the ruse. The fact that ruses hit 2 columns or 2 rows is just really helpful. Much improved over feints, though. It's kind of sad. Feints were fun. They just weren't available enough for people to experiment with. And now they're just kind of locked away, and ruses are just better. But that's okay. It's the same basic idea. It's just it's better, and that's fine. I want to get a attack speed ruse for regular Corrin here. But now Sharena, finish off Effie, and there we go. That was the super buff special. Don't need to show that again. Hopefully, I'll probably end up showing it again at some point in the future, but you get the idea of how that works. Next, we're going to show off a different build, but we'll probably do that in Arena Assault. Next up, we're showcasing the close counter mixed tank setup. I brought in Sakura to help keep our boy healthy, since he isn't running like Aether or anything to sustain himself. But you know, we're just gonna show him doing his thing. We've got some defense tiles we can use. It feels kind of cheaty, but do I feel bad? We'll try not to use the defense tiles, but we are still going to give our team buffs because that's fair. Defense tiles might not be on every map, but I do have the option to use my team buffs every map, so we're gonna use those. Julia hits us for 0. Corrin returns for 22. And now we finish her off on initiation. Take a little damage, but that's okay. Hit her with the bonfire. Goodbye. We'll go ahead and heal him up. So yeah, I'm just excited that I finally finished him, but I was so excited when New Year's Corrin first got revealed. Because, well, I mean, it's my boy, but also also the New Year's theme was like the coolest theme in my opinion, that we had gotten for seasonals thus far. But also, archers are like my favorite class in like games and stuff. Not just Fire Emblem. Like, heck, in like Zelda, my favorite weapon is the bow. So it was, and I always, in Fates, I always made Corrin have a archery talent, though I never actually used it. Fjorm, you're not supposed to attack that Corrin. So I never actually used his archery talent, but I always gave it to him just because I loved bows. So seeing Corrin, his first alt, be a archer was just really cool, and it felt like they were referencing me with that, even though I know it completely had nothing to do with me at all. But it just made me feel special that Corrin, that one of my favorite characters, got an alt that was my favorite weapon type. Turn off your special. We're still not doing a lot to you. Oh, because she's got distant defense 4. Aren't you clever? Well, why don't you come and attack me? So yeah, I was just really happy that we got Bow Corrin. And Fjorm is just, she's trying over here. It's not working, but she's trying. We could kill Fjorm. Yeah, let's just kill her before she becomes a problem. Bam! Goodbye. Go ahead and give our boy some buffs and heal him up. Give him the Wind Firebomb. Whoop. And now tank Effie. Look at her. She's doing nothing. It's because I stacked so many defensive buffs, but it's also because Corrin is just so strong. Like, yo, she's still not doing a ton, even if we aren't standing next to Corrin or getting our drive def. We'll see how much she does when he's not getting those buffs. Still does 16. And then we return fire with a bonfire. Hit her down to 8. And wrap things up. So that's the close counter build. That's probably going to be his main build, just because I really like my mixed tanks. But I think that's a really fun one. I'm still not sure if I like Swift Stance more than just straight up warding stance, but it's probably his seal will probably be one of those two. Again, I just really wish we had like a barrier lance bow instead of like distant defense bow. So next we'll test the, oh man, that's a really good score. I want to keep going on that, but next we'll test his pure offense Fury Desperation setup, and then we'll do Close Counter Vantage. Alrighty, next up we're testing the offensive build. We got a Nino, an Azura, Frederick, and Fjorm. Fortunately, no armors here. Wary Fighter is very annoying, but it's especially bad because we're trying to showcase this build that stacks speed, and Wary Fighter just ignores that, so I'm glad about that. And again, this is probably the set that I'll use the least. I'm not as wild about pure offensive sets like this. I like my mixed phases or enemy phase units, but this was mostly just to utilize some of the leftovers left over on my kit from inheriting other stuff. So let's go ahead and just start moving out. Alright, we're getting Frederick sent forward towards us. Alright, still gotta be worried, but I think we can just pass. Alright. Since we're not in Brazen range yet, we may need to just have Morgan. We'll have Morgan soften Frederick up. This set does need a little bit of setup to get into Brazen range to get the full power, but that's fine. Corrin will now attack. Hit him with the Fury Bow. Bam! I love this bow. took some damage, but that's okay. I'll just we'll pass. But Corrin is running he's running the Fury Bow, or the Halloween Bow, and the Summer Festival Mask, and he's a New Year's unit. So he's just got like all the seasonals represented here. He's got summer, fall, and wintry spring, because New Year's kind of in the, you know, it's still in winter, but it's like starting towards spring. So Corrin is just completely confused about what time it is. That's okay. We'll just have him kill Azura. And you know, confusion, some would argue, is Corrin's default state of being. So yeah, that's fine, and I'm okay with that. It's understandable. I'm usually confused most of the time too. If it weren't for the Fae calendar, I probably wouldn't know what time it was at any given moment. I track what day it is based off of what banners are coming up, so Corrin and I, we're both confused, and that's fine. We'll go ahead and have Sakura patch him up a little bit. Yeah, what I really like about this set is it's still pretty bulky. So even before we get Desperation going, he can take a hit here and there. But yeah, we're in Desperation range, so we're just going to completely slaughter this Nino. But that extra bulk does let him take a hit from a DC weapon or whatever. And it separates him from Klein a little bit, which is nice, because they're both kind of, they're both my archers, and I like having them be a little bit different at least. But next up, we'll test the CC+Vantage in Aether raids. And for our last showcase, we have returned once more to the Aether Keep to do a friend mock battle, show off Corrin against my mortal enemy of Aether raids. Well, one of them, Flyer Balls. In case you're curious, the other one is Legendary Alm. I hate him. But so we're just gonna take on this person on my friends list, Camilla Emblem. Lovely dedication to Big Sister. These all, no, they're not all plus 10. I've never actually looked at them, but they're here all right. They're not plus 10, but I still admire the dedication. I have not gotten nearly this many Camilla, but yeah, we're going to just take Corrin in and test him out and see what we can accomplish with this. And I know it feels like we're stacking the deck here because, well, of course Corrin's probably going to be able to take on flyer units. That's what archers do. But that's the whole point of this set, is just to take on flyer units. So, I mean, like, I wouldn't use this build in other circumstances. This build is specifically for this. So, we can only really showcase it against flyer teams. But so we're going to, this is my Vantage team. It's, as always with Aether Raids, a work in progress. We got Ares here with DC Vantage. Still looking for a plus attack Ares, but what can you do? We got Omni Buff Odin here. We got our boy Corrin, and then we got the Air Squad. They're just gonna pop some of these, and I should probably. It's probably actually safer to approach from the other side, but I don't know. And yeah, I'm using my friend list because I don't know how, or I don't know if I'll find a, oh, there we go. That was the lightning trap. I don't know if we'll be able to find a flyer ball in the wild, so to speak. So it's just simpler to use the one on my friend list. And which of these are the most dangerous? None of them have hardy bearing. The problem with this build is it is weak still to like Hardy Bearing or Iote Shield even. Yeah, so I guess we should take out the Iote Shield one first. Hardy Bearing and Dazzling Staff or Fire Sweep weapons shut down your Vantage effect and your counterattack, so you have to watch out for those and usually try and snipe them first. And Iote Shield can also just stop your attacks. But I don't think it'll be too big of an issue if you pay attention and try and play around it. Snipe out Dazzling Staff or Fire Sweep or Hardy Bearing units first. And then the Iote Shield ones you can probably just kind of play around. Usually Iote Shield is on someone melee range, so you can like block them off with the walls like this. I should probably actually try and hit the Aether Pots, but this build also might struggle with that a little bit. We'll go ahead and start sniping. So hit her, take down the New Year's Camilla, lay down our Death Smoke. Don't want to actually destroy this, or this Camilla will come over and attack Odin, which is not what we want. So here we go. Everyone's just going to start attacking Camilla, or attacking Corrin. All the Camillas are going to attack Corrin, and he's just going to hit them with Vantage and ping them back before they can respond. I'm sorry, Big Sis, but I'm so sick of flyer balls. They are awful. Terrible, terrible engines of destruction that must be eliminated. Alright, so we got regular Big Sis is actually our biggest threat. We'll go ahead and hit that one. Pop that, pull back, and pull back again. Alright, no, she's not gonna kill us, so we'll take out Summer Camilla. Goodbye. Lay down our Death Smoke and charge up our Glimmer. I still haven't fully decided what special to use on this set, but I think Glimmer should let us get the kill here. There we go. And voila, Fireball dismantled. Won't always be able to get the Aether Pots, but it's worth it to just not instantly lose against those things. So, yeah, those are the 4 New Year's Corrin builds. Very excited to finally be able to show those off. So that is our lovely boy Corrin and his 4 builds. I'm glad that I was finally able to build him up and kind of spoil him rotten with so many skills that he could build this many builds. But I'm glad to have him finally maxed out. He looks really good. So yeah, I'm just excited to use him finally. Thank you as always for watching. Maybe this gave you some ideas if you happen to like Corrin and you want to build him too and you just didn't really know what direction to take him. Maybe it gave you some ideas. If not, maybe it was just cool to see a unit that not a lot of people use very often, and see what I did with him. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching. Until next time, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon and Best Boy Corrin signing out.